Welcome to Three Beers and a Topic. This is where I sit around with two individuals who are my friends, family, whoever I want to talk to. We try out three different craft beers. Today we're going to be trying out, we'll go more into each one of these, but the Odell Brewing Company has a variety pack. We got St. Lupulin Extra Pale Ale. Then we have Indian Pale Ale IPA. And then we have their Colorado Lager. We try them out. We tell a little bit of stories. And today we have a guest. Sean, he actually is the writer for, or one of the writers for our company, and he's technically the other writer. Or I could just say Sean's the only writer, and Andy's job is to play Destiny all day.
It sucked when I reached the end of that game.
But yeah, no, so Sean's going to join us today, and Sean worked in an AT&T call center.
Yes, I did.
So we got stories for us, and if he doesn't, Andy and I'll pick up the slack. So what is this one, Andy?
I never worked in a call center.
The Army kind of was that with how hellish it was.
Yeah. What is this?
Yeah, what are you holding? What's the bottle? What are we
It
drinking first?
is Saint Lupulin is actually how it's pronounced.
Okay.
Lupulin Extra Pale Ale.
That's why I bring you here.
Yep. Well, it just says it right there, so that's how I know. A mystical legend echoes in our brew house, that of Saint Lupulin, the archetypal hophead. He devoted endless summers to endless rows of hops, tending to the flowers and the beloved resin within. Lupulin. Good to know. All right.
All right, cheers. Welcome to Colorado again, Sean.
Thank you for having me.
I don't know if you can keep saying welcome to Colorado.
Okay, shockingly, I like that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't actually like IPAs or extra pales.
I would have to drink it a little bit more to.
Okay, so you have a cup there with
Yeah,
more.
man.
You can drink it all.
Luckily, I put
Don't worry, we're giving you a small amount so you won't get drunk. Just don't grab a bottle when we're done.
Luckily, I put the most in my cup.
So, quick question: you don't drink that often, right?
Typically no.
Okay.
Social drinker.
Okay,
Mostly.
just so everyone knows your background with drinking as you give your opinions on these.
Yes.
It's a very light beer. It's definitely one that I would grab if we're just like BSing or whatever. But I don't think I'd grab and just drink it. But if it was there, I definitely would drink it. You know what I mean? I wouldn't buy it myself. That's way to put it.
if it was in arm's reach, I would.
There you go. Oh, but that's how most beer is with me. Man, I hate this one, but I can grab it. So how was AT&T, Sean?
It was a roller coaster of emotions, Ben.
A roller coaster.
Yes. A lot of people do not know the inner workings of call center jobs and the stress that a lot of people can go through with that stuff. For anybody who's worked in a call center, they know exactly what I'm talking about. You are, depending on where you are, sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing. In a lot of cases, like I worked tech support for 7 years. You're constantly hearing the worst of the worst being told to you, and you have no control over anything of it. But
You mean in the sense like if I'm trying to get out of my bill or issue, I'm telling you.
Or I'm screaming at you because I feel like it's your fault.
I've been called things I've never even heard of before.
I still don't know what they are.
I still don't.
Man, I feel like I should be offended right now.
But yeah, like I mean, like I was considered what they called an Android specialist. So I did everything from the billing to the tech support to the warranty, everything. So whenever you get these kinds of people who are just completely irate, I was that guy. So like if you call into a call center and you say, "Hey, I need to talk to a manager," I was that guy. But I mean, there's you meet some colorful people there, and there's some people who enjoy it. There's some people who can just roll with the punches with it. Some people not so much. Danielle was one of those people who couldn't. For all who don't know, that's my girlfriend, who I met there. But you can come across a lot of people there, like the most interesting people calling in,
Right.
because they just have nothing better to do but to talk to you. There's been a few cases where we had one individual who called in. If a male picked up the phone, he would immediately hang up.
Oh, sorry about that, man. I really can't talk to dudes on the phone.
But
It's a stigmatism. I don't know.
Yeah.
but if a female picked up, he would sit there for about a good minute before saying a word. And now,
Would he breathe heavily or
Yes.
anything? Okay, I was like,
yeah, he would breathe very heavily, and for some
Maybe
call
he's just
centers,
working up the courage. You don't know. We don't have to
He
assume
could
the
be.
worst.
but he would sit there for a minute, kind of breathing for a little bit. And for us, at least at AT&T, we have like about a 2-minute rule to where we don't hang up. until
Oh,
we get a
really?
response.
Oh, I didn't
That's
know
a
that.
weird
So you're
rule.
telling me call them, and I can totally mess with them for 2 minutes.
Basically.
This is fun knowledge.
I'm gonna need a minute.
I only need about 2 minutes.
I'm gonna need about 2.
But
About
like as soon as he would get closer to his time, he would start breathing a little bit more. Then he'll be like, he'll start asking if they're wearing shoes.
Well, were they?
Well, and our call center was business casual, so everyone had
so
to be
not always.
in. Not always. But he would just sit there and start asking about their feet and just their size of them, if their big toe's bigger than the next toe. Like,
Was he ever asking for help?
no, absolutely not.
It was always about their feet.
Always about their feet. He never had a problem. He constantly paid his bill on time, so he was good there. But at the time we got that kind of call, we covered mostly the southeast region. So whenever he would call, my call center always got it. But we had to watch his account, and I felt bad because we eventually end up having to close the account
Why?
because harassment.
Oh, so you just.
I was gonna say it's still technically
no,
harassment.
no, that I know.
He's
When
like, but I pay my bill. So what size shoes are you wearing right now?
Well, because I had to get on the phone with him a few times, and the one time he didn't hang up on me.
did you answer him like, by the way, they're 11s? Yes.
You just started off.
Like I'm sitting at my desk working on something, and then I get an email from one of my agents saying he called, and he's on, and he's still on the phone. So I immediately go over to their desk. I plug my phone in, and as soon as she says something, he goes into a spiel about feet, and then I get on the phone. I was like, "Hey, is there anything I can help you with?" And he paused for a minute. Usually he hung up. One time I caught him though, and I was like, you really need to ask us problems. Like, come to us with an issue, not this.
Yeah.
And I was like, unfortunately, if you continue to do this, I'm gonna have to suspend or cancel your account. And he's like, click.
That's a good response. I like that.
And sure enough, like I think maybe a week later, he called back and I had to close out the account.
Yeah, that wasn't cool, by the way, man.
Andy was very upset.
Yeah, I
by
was
that.
very upset about that. I had to go to Sprint.
What is your next beer we have?
This is the India Pale Ale.
I've always said Indian Pale Ale, and I know it's wrong.
Definitely says India.
Oh, it's an India Pale Ale. That's what it is.
They can't see it. It says India. We took the traditional IPA, originally shipped from England to India in the 1700s, and made it bolder and more flavorful. American style.
Is that what it says?
America.
America.
It does say America top. We've added varieties of highly aromatic. Aromatic?
Aromatic.
Sure, why not? American hops. I don't know why I'm adding letters to that word. American hops to create a distinctive bitterness. Just like my life. Profile and an incredible hop character. Hop on, hold tight, and enjoy the ride. And then there's a picture of a guy riding an elephant.
To the elephant.
To the elephant.
To the elephant.
To Dumbo.
Yeah, that's the IPA I don't like. I don't
Actually,
like.
that's not terrible.
It's one of the better IPAs, but I definitely would not
Yeah.
pick this
No,
by any means.
no, not out of the bunch.
For the record, if you don't like them, you don't have to finish them, Sean. He's sitting there like, that's what I do.
I don't like it.
Well, eventually Ben will just start mixing them all together.
Done. They're problem solved. I just got head in there.
Chug, 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 chug.
Do you have any more
Chug the
interesting
head.
stories at
Chug
AT&T?
the head.
Because I'm sure we got worse job stories.
Oh, I imagine.
This one guy called me about feet, which I thought was weird.
No, my problem was the one guy that stopped me from talking to the AT&T people about feet.
That wasn't for work. That was just more of a personal thing.
There was one that I didn't get to hear much of, but we had one guy who was an app developer, and he would call the call centers to talk to the agent, and he would have some bogus problem that we would figure out within a minute.
Okay.
My phone exploded.
And
That's bogus problem.
and then for the
My
next
head's on fire.
the next 20 minutes, he would go on promoting his app.
Yeah.
And it was just like a note-taking app, and he kept getting us to try to promote it for him, or like talk about it to like other customers.
I don't think you understood what a call center was for.
Yeah, I know. I was like,
Hey, can you guys tell all of your people call? I mean, it makes sense. thousands of people calling a day.
True. Most of them want to know about feet, though.
One of my agents actually did download it because it was $1, but he's like, "This is no different." Like he got on the phone, he's like, "This is no different than anything."
He called him back. Hey, asshole.
And
You're promoting me a product that's not good.
yeah, we had to sit him down and tell him to stop calling again. He stopped, thankfully, though.
Because you were like, we're not promoting your app.
Yeah, it was like we
You
don't-
got one
we don't do
sale.
that.
Congratulations.
Good job.
Here, enjoy your $1.
He gave you a 1-star review.
He did actually, as a matter of fact.
I would.
It was great.
What? These are my red Solo cups.
I
Wasn't it somebody made an entire Kenny Rogers or somebody made a whole song about it?
No, that would be
Kenny Loggins?
It was on the highway to the danger zone.
AC/DC did a red Solo cup.
I'm pretty
song?
sure it was AC/DC. Yeah. I'm pretty sure. It's Def Leppard.
Def Leppard did
Def
it?
Leppard, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this one I'm excited about.
I haven't finished this one yet. Hold on.
Well, it's not my fault these stories are short. Ever tell you about the time I worked at a pizza joint?
Apparently, I didn't know a lot about your past.
I worked as a pizza delivery driver, and I had fun not delivering the pizzas.
That seems like to be the opposite.
The opposite of what I'm supposed to be
Yeah, I was
doing.
gonna say that the job is literally in the title, and you didn't do it right. Stop throwing beer at me. This one doesn't have anything to read.
What's it called?
It's a Colorado lager, and it literally all it says: brewed in Colorado, for Colorado, and all the things that make it home.
Okay, so what makes Colorado home? What makes Florida home?
The
Nothing.
Swamps.
Alligators, swamps.
Alligators.
Like if
Are you Florida man?
I am a Florida man.
Interesting.
I can't get him to leave. Something about his family and all that crap, but
Son about family.
What a loser. Why do you always pour me like 100% head?
I told you to pour him and he failed.
You only told me to pour one, and then you took him away from me.
That wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be.
You're stupid.
Humidity is what makes up Florida.
Yeah, humidity is awful.
I remember going there to Florida
Yes.
with Rob in August. And you,
Probably the worst time.
yeah, we go like it would be like you're in the hotel room. Like this is great. And you step outside, like I'm sweating.
My hair just suddenly curls and
Yeah.
dehydrated now.
What the hell?
So, what about you? What's your worst? Or what makes Colorado home? Or give me
What's
Man.
my worst what?
life.
What's my worst life?
Yeah.
This one.
The one where I exist.
Yeah, the one where I'm currently in it.
Yeah, anything else about AT&T? I mean, I know you've told me a few behind the scenes. I don't know what you want to say here, though.
The one thing I will tell people out there is that if you ever have to call into a call center agent, be nice because we will ruin your account. And we will make it difficult for you to do anything.
I honestly, every time I've called in a call center or I get somebody, not a call center, but like you're going through the whole chain, it's not like it's the person that actually caused my problem. I try to be as polite
Like
as
there's
possible.
one dude who's like flipping switches to mess with you.
Well, I remember one person, like I called, it was like a legit problem. I didn't remember what the problem was, but it was like an actual problem with a billing thing, and they like double charged me. or something.
Sure, yeah,
And I
yeah.
got the person on the phone, and I kind of went off a little like, I cannot believe you guys are doing this. I need to fix the problem. And I was like, and I know this isn't you, and I apologize if I sound like I'm yelling at you. I'm just very irate at the situation. And
We got a lot of those. I mean, and a lot of times people just get straight up hysterical and they don't even know why yet.
yeah, and the one time I was irritated, it's like, I know it sounds like I'm speaking very angrily. I'm really not. I know you're not the person doing this.
Yeah, because I mean, honestly, like the best interactions that you can have with anything from call center related, whether it's their problem, your problem, whatever, be as calm as possible. As simple as that, and you will get through any problem 100% faster. And
See, be calm, Andy. Stop freaking out on people.
and it's usually those
Well,
types,
I'm always calm.
and it's usually those people we try to tend to help out more.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like if you call me like, hey, my text messaging wasn't working for a day, comp my bill. I will literally go through and calculate what your bill is for 30 days, divide it all by 29, and give you one single day of credit.
Because I don't.
This is AT&T, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a funny story calling an AT&T call center. So when I deployed to Afghanistan in 2012, I had thought I had put my cell phone on suspended for deployment.
Right.
You know, it's an actual like status for it. Apparently I didn't. or something didn't happen. Because I called them the day before I deployed, asked them to put it on suspension. The guy told me I did, or it was suspended. Apparently it was not. 8 months into the deployment, our father sends me an email saying, I just got a bill from AT&T for $1,400 because you haven't been paying your account.
Yeah.
Because I suspended also my credit card because I was like, obviously I'm not using my credit card in Afghanistan.
Right.
So I called them and was like, hey, I'm going to be gone for 9 to 10 months, whatever it was. I want to make sure everything's good. And I shut off all my auto payments and things like that. So obviously with all my overdue fees and I didn't pay, it came to like $1,400.
Yeah.
So I used the buddy's call card, because you pay for minutes to call outside.
Yeah.
And I went to the MWR and I got on the phone and I called the
MWR, for those who are wondering, is the wellness recreation.
Military Wellness and Recreation.
Yeah, it's like a little like
Morale, Wellness, and
that was
Recreation.
It, yeah. It's just like a little area you can go hang out.
Yeah, you go hang out. You can get on the internet for 30 minutes. You can call home. You can do things like that. So I call AT&T. So now I'm using my downtime to call AT&T. Get on the phone with a guy, explain the situation to him. He's like, let me see what I can do.
Yep.
So he gets on there. He's doing his thing. He's like, well, and I think I got cut off or something like that from saying I have to go back. Different guy. Explain the problem to him. Yada yada yada. So the guy's like, well, I can get you down to. He's like, he could take away all the fees and things like that. He's like, but you're still gonna have to pay like $800 or something like that. I'm like, I haven't used my cell phone. Like, you can look at the activity on this thing, right? And he's like, yeah. I was like, I'm literally in Afghanistan right now. Like, I'm not messing with you.
I'll make a phone call just to show you.
Yeah, just to show you. So the guy's like, it's the best I can do. I can get down to like $800. So I hung up on him. I call back, get a different guy. This guy got me down to it was like $400. I hung up. I call back. I get a different guy. He got me down to, I think it was like 150. And I was like, all right, 150 is not bad.
Yeah.
I can deal with 150. But then we got disconnected. I was like, oh, man. I call back. This time I got a woman. I was like, ma'am, explain the whole thing to her. And I was like, ma'am, I am literally in Afghanistan right now. And there's this long pause. And then she goes, is it scary? And I'm like, this is it. This is the one. And I go, ma'am, it is terrifying. Can we work on this bill? She got me down. I didn't owe any money. And I was like, thank you, ma'am. And the whole time I'm not yelling at anybody because it was just a mistake.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't going to pay that money, but it was just a mistake. So, the whole time, and then finally she gets me down. I was like, ma'am, you are my new favorite person in this whole world. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And that was the other thing I told him. I was like, I've never had a problem with AT&T before, and I would like to continue my service when I get back. But I'm not gonna if you make me pay $1,400.
Yeah.
Is what it boils down to. Yeah.
I had a similar thing. We were doing boxing lessons with Natalie, and they didn't pay the bill for that.
I was like, I don't know how similar this story
No.
is.
So
but
I
okay.
went in to cancel when she got sick last year. I was like, I'm going to cancel this, yada, yada, yada. I guess they had somebody working the desk. I don't know who, but they didn't give me a form to fill out. So as far as the place was concerned, I
You
placed
didn't
it on
actually
hold.
do anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I didn't cancel.
Yeah.
And I had rotated cards at some point at that point. 'Cause occasionally I got to switch my cards. It's not working.
Something happens.
Yeah.
You got to get a new card. Yeah.
So I didn't have any notification that I wasn't paying a bill. And I go show up and they're like, yeah, you owe like $2,000 for late fees and it's hitting your credit. And I'm like, whoa. Like, I came in here to cancel this. My wife was on her deathbed and you guys didn't give me any, you didn't give me this form you're claiming I need to sign. And so I talked to the guy and they seemed like they were kind of like, I was in the building talking to them.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, who did this to you? And I was trying to remember somebody. I'm like, this guy. And he goes, no, I know that guy. He left long before you. I'm like, okay, well, that wasn't the guy.
Yeah,
my story's looking even worse because I'm telling the truth here.
Yeah.
And they eventually got it down to
He's like, you don't even have a wife, do you? Lying sack of
They
crap.
got it all the way down to they're like, we can make it if you just pay that last month. Because if you came
Okay, I
can
can deal with that. Yeah, I can deal with that.
You would have still owed for 1 month.
Sure,
If you
all
pay
right.
that, I'll settle up your whole bill. And I'm like, okay, so we're talking 1 month? I'll do that.
I could deal with that. Yeah.
So, and they fixed that up. But it's similar to that.
Yeah.
I couldn't get them any lower than 1 month. But I'm like, I'll do the last month.
You should have told him you were in Afghanistan.
As I'm standing in front of him.
Dude,
I'm
I was in Afghanistan
right now. Why don't you believe me? So, all right. Well, out of these beers, what was your favorite, Sean?
I think the first one.
The first one, the extra pale.
Yeah.
Actually,
Which is
I like the last
yeah,
one
it was
most.
like the Colorado Lager, probably the best.
So that's your favorite?
Yeah.
And I'll go with that one.
Way to steal my favorite.
I don't want the pale.
No, you get pale ale.
All right, fine. The IPA is my favorite.
Which one had the elephant on it? I just like the elephant.
All right, thank you guys for watching 3 Beers and a Topic. It's a Patreon exclusive, but it does eventually get uploaded. Quit playing with the bottles. They can hear it on the table. Everyone hates you now.
I'm cool with it.
I was never seen.
Goes to our Patreon first, and eventually I remember that we have a channel that this gets uploaded to. What's the longest? I think it was like 2 months. I hadn't uploaded an episode.
There was a while. Yeah, there was a while.
Anyway, thanks guys for your support. See you next time right here on 3 Beers and a Topic. Now filmed every Thursday at the end of all of our podcasts right here at the Ellis Monster channel.